Howdy do. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. If I could speak correctly for the 6th of August, 2014. How y'all doing today? This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast. I said once before that Free America Radio Network is expanding. I'm taking it to the next level, and you can be a part of that, by the way. But I'm going to scale back the shows just a bit, but still going to give you what you need to know. So anyway, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, even if you disagree with me, please email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. And, I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have. If I don't know, I will tell you I don't know. We have a lot going on. We have illegal immigrant children going to the Santa Clara County area in California. And basically what it is the whole thing is it's made to collapse the United States of America as we know it. Cloward and Piven's strategy. Go look that up. Startpage.com. There's so many things happening that it seems like every 5 minutes something is changing and something, it's just taking its place. A lot of things seem to be focused on not so much the president, but on what policies are being dictated through the state-run media. Now, I know a lot of people might say, well, so they got to have a little bit of the truth. No, they are lying through their teeth. They're lying through their teeth. They always have lied through their teeth. They always will lie through their teeth. The state-run media doesn't know a damn thing. Oh, they may sound all good and maybe saying the right things, and you might be emotionally getting attracted to whatever it is they're saying, but they're lying to you. And they know how to use words to attract you to what they're saying. It's called neuro-linguistic programming. So check that one out as well. Now, I don't have any guests on the show, and I try not to have any guests on the show only because of the fact that there's so much that I want to tell you, and there's so much going on that you need to know what's going on, and I'm going to share with you the truth with the facts to back it up. And if I don't know, I will tell you I don't know, because I don't know everything, and I'm still researching as I go along. So I will tell you what I know at this point. And at some point, I will have guests. It seems that how I get guests on the show through my laptop and hooking it up and doing all this somehow just doesn't work out quite as well as I would like. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it's a little temperamental. So, things happen. But I'm going to go to break here in about a minute, and I'm going to come back, and we're going to get into some of the things on several websites as well. Reuters, drudgereport.com, Infowars.com. And I'm going to tell you my opinion of what is going on and literally show you why you should be concerned about all of this. And why you need to listen to the truth instead of the state-run media. I shall return right after this. America Matters. Enthusiastically entertaining, educating, enlightening everyone everywhere, while including a unique mix of all forms of media, including the internet, with continual live streaming available for all their shows. Their website is www.americamatters.us. Listen to America Matters on 101.3 Renegade Radio, krng.streamon.fm, or 99.1 FM Talk Radio. Weekends at 99.1fmtalk.com or 12:30 a.m. at 1230kjfk.com. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce from The Views Expressed. Please come join me on The Views Express Live, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com.
Sharing the truth one fact at a time. The Free America Radio Network. Go to freeamericaradio.us.
Welcome back. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast for the 6th of August 2014. There's so much going on that I don't even know where to begin. I mean, it's changing every 5 minutes. It's just, oh my goodness. What else can I say? Well, let's first start out by going to the Drudge Report. CDC hides Ebola test location. Or test locations. There's more than one. Breitbart.com, CDC refuses to identify where previous Ebola tests originated. In other words, they manufactured this, folks. They manufactured this. Let me say that again. They manufactured the Ebola. It's called a chemical warfare. Tuesday evening, the CDC confirmed to Breitbart News that 6 individuals in the United States have been tested for Ebola. Those tests come back negative, but the CDC would not identify the states where they originated. So that's what this story is about. CNN's Dr. Sanjay Gupta reported Tuesday that half a dozen people had been tested for Ebola. It was not clear whether a patient who walked into Mount Sinai Hospital in New York Monday with, quote, high fever and gastrointestinal problems, unquote, was one of the 6 or in addition to the 6. From what I understand, folks, let me interject this. From what I understand, that person didn't have Ebola. Tuesday afternoon, Breitbart News contacted the CDC with 2 questions. First, in which states were the 6 people who had been tested located? Second, had the test come back, and what were the results? The CDC's Director of Public Affairs sent a brief response which answered the second question but sidestepped the first. Quote, the 6 previous tests were all negative and sporadic in time and place. Mount Sinai test still pending testing at CDC, unquote. He wrote, from this answer, it appears the pending test is the 7th so far. The pending test is expected back tomorrow. At present, that individual who has recently traveled to West Africa, where the current outbreak is taking place, is said to be under strict isolation. This is important, folks, because if you find yourself at a point at which you are believing your state-run media, you got a major problem. Okay? You have a major problem. If you have any inkling whatsoever that your local, national cable news networks are not telling you the truth, more than likely they're not. Okay? And even if they say words that seem to attract you to what they're saying, they're going to say, yes, we've heard and there are reports, but, and then they're going to spin their particular version because they were told to. Now, of course, on something like this, you wouldn't want mass panic across the United States, so I can understand that side of it too. But, DrudgeReport.com. We'll go down here. Tense. Immigration overload hits France. Alarming rise. Scramble to reach UK. So it's not just the Mexican border, folks. Senegal president. Ebola outbreak is threat against humanity. I myself personally believe that it is. Now, I want to really put into a meaningful paragraph something that should be important to all of us. Okay? And I use the paragraph analogy because, what if you're writing something, you can put it in, if you can encapsulate something in just one paragraph, what would it be? But I want to say this. We have not seen an outbreak of a serious virus like this in many, many, many years. But I also want to look at it from this point of view. What if the state-run media is propagating the manufactured fear or the manufactured news which causes fear from the federal government? What if the federal government, Washington, D.C., and those folks are manufacturing the stories to get you to fear this whole thing? And what if they're doing that for the sole purpose of implementing martial law? Because once they say, this is a pandemic, this is an epidemic across the United States, and now we have to shut down and quarantine cities. We cannot have anyone leave, go anywhere. They're going to trap you under regional martial law. This is the game plan, folks. Okay? You cannot get away from it. It's right there. It's in your face. And if you don't want to pay attention to it, not my problem. I find it incredibly odd that most people will listen to what I'm saying or actually see what I'm saying and still deny it. But that's on them. They have to take responsibility for themselves, their families, all of that, and be able to sleep at night. From Latino.foxnews.com. Nearly 100 bodies of deceased immigrants found in Arizona desert since October. The U.S. Border Patrol has found the bodies of 97 undocumented immigrants in Arizona desert over the past 10 months, the latest being that of a 19-year-old youth. Quote, "We got a call from a man asking for help. He told us he was crossing the mountains with his son who was hit by lightning. When the agents arrived, he was already dead." Andres Adame, spokesman for the Border Patrol in Tucson, told EFE. Despite the decline in the number of undocumented immigrants crossing the border and the number of arrests in Arizona, people are still dying in the desert, since Adame said, besides supporting the high summer temperatures, they also have to weather the storms, which can strike at any time and very quickly move on. Quote, "Most of the deaths occur in remote, hard-to-reach areas. If people fall and hurt themselves, they are left to die. Immigrants like to come over the mountains to avoid detection by the Border Patrol, but that's the most dangerous way to go because it's hard to rescue them," unquote, he said. During the fiscal year of 2013, some 200 bodies were found, while so far in fiscal year 2014, which began October 1st, the number stands at 97. The decline is also reflected in the numbers of arrests. To date, in the current fiscal year, 83,115 undocumented immigrants have been detained, while in fiscal year 2013, there were 111,570 undocumented immigrants. Authorities recommend that anyone who decides to check across Arizona should bring a phone, a mirror, and a flashlight. Quote, "With the mirror, they can be spotted from a helicopter if they're lost or injured. With a phone, they can call 911, and with a flashlight, they can be seen at night. That can save their lives," Adame said. Question, folks. What would cause a group of people to leave their homes in Central America, South America, Mexico, and make their way up here through dangerous territory? Now, here in Reno, Nevada area, I've done some serious hiking. I'm in pain most of the time because of some physical ailments, but I still want to get outdoors as much as I possibly can when I am not in so much pain. And I've trekked across some of the land up here. And I can tell you, if you don't have water, and if you don't have a flashlight, and if you don't have some at least basic first aid and a first aid kit, you're done. I mean, that's just the way it is. And yes, it is very, very important to carry a phone with you. Okay? Most of the mountains around here, at least 3 of them that I know of, have cell towers. So it's not that hard to get your phone out if you hadn't lost it on the trek and dial 911. But what would cause a group of people to want to do that? To want to cross the most dangerous areas in Arizona, Texas, New Mexico, California, and Southern California. You got massive amounts of desert land out there. On a map, it may look like, it's only, it's 5 miles to the next town. But when you're in the desert and you've been out, lost for a few days and you don't have enough water and you're in the sun, that 5 miles can seem like 1,000. Okay? So I don't know what these people are thinking. I don't think they are, but I don't know what they're thinking because they're leaving one socialist communist state or country to come here to the United States of America, which is now the North American Union, which is a socialist, Marxist, communist, fascist dictatorship. Okay? We no longer have what we had many years ago. Why would anybody want to come here? Why would anyone want to be here? I just don't get it. I don't get it. I'm going to take a break, folks. Break coming up in about a minute or so. I'm going to come back and hit some more news links on Drudge Report. And I'm going to go to Infowars.com, of course. And hit up some other, some local stuff. And go from there. And tell you what's happening around the area. So, folks, give me about a minute or so. Give it a couple of minutes. I'll be back. We'll hit some articles up, tell you some headlines. I'll give you my take on it. So in just a momento, or in a couple of moments, I shall return. Sit tight, sit back, relax, enjoy, and I shall return. With her unique, fast-paced, witty sarcasm, Angel Clark brings you the news of the day with a creative twist. Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern on radiofreedom.us. You can also listen to her live on the Liberty Radio Network at lrn.fm. For all you independent artists, musicians, and filmmakers, there is a place for you. Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. Go to radiorocktheblitz.blogspot.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. Hold on tight. Get ready
Hey, folks, welcome back. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce right here for the 6th of August, 2014. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast. Not live today like I normally am, but I'm doing this podcast for your benefit, for you to know what is going on, who is behind the curtain, pushing the buttons and pulling the handles, sharing with you the truth, one fact at a time. And I got to tell you, folks, if I don't know, I'm going to tell you, I don't know. You know, I'm going to give you as much as I do, share with you my opinions on what's happening, give you the news as much as I can find it. And if I need to do a follow-up, I do. So there you go. From the Reno Gazette-Journal, our local paper here in Reno, Nevada, let me go into news section. That's at rgj.com. Now, I want people to understand a few things, if you would please. Thank you. That some of the news is going to be a little wishy-washy. It's going to water down and all that. But there's going to be some things that are going to be factual in that as well. Let me give you some news from around here. Massive data breach. Time to change your password. Okay, now it's really time to change your password. With news that as many as 1.2 billion user names and passwords combinations had been stolen. Security experts are urging consumers to be more vigilant online. A Russian cyber gang injected malicious code into at least 420,000 websites to gather the data. The attack, quote, looks absolutely enormous, unquote, said Jeff Webb, Senior Director of Security and Strategy in NetIQ, a computer security company based in Houston. Quote, it's yet another example showing there is a lot of work to be done in making the web-based applications that people use secure, unquote. I don't know what to tell you, folks. Change your password again. Okay. I think that you need to do that once a week. I'm just saying. You need to do that once a week. Leaked documents show no-fly list has grown tenfold under Obama. Steve Watson, writing for Infowars.com, talks about that. I will definitely put that one on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page. Now, I don't have all the answers, folks. But what I do know is that we need to be very, very vigilant as to what is going on. Okay? Now, I want to say this as well. The technology that we have is very useful, very much needed in cases. But I also want to put this story out here, which is going to dovetail into my next subject. From My Fox New York, myfoxny.com. Picture it. Facial recognition to find lost dogs. Los Angeles. Any worried pet owner who has spent days hanging posters, making phone calls, and knocking on neighbors' doors hopes there's a more scientific way to find a lost dog. That became a reality when facial recognition technology successfully reunited a pet at San Diego County Animal Services with its owner. Joanne Cox's family in San Diego turned to FindingRover.com, a website and app that uses technology built by university researchers to reconnect their dog Roxy, a Shiba Inu. Excuse me. The website keeps a database of photos from the 3 county shelters and tries to match 8 distinctive facial markers on dogs with images uploaded by users searching for their pets. Eyes and noses are important areas that differentiate pooches, including eye size and their position near the snout. FindingRover.com founder John Polomino wants to expand the photo database to improve the odds of more happy endings, with shelters elsewhere set to sign on. He's also showing it to rescues, veterinarians, and dog groups, and is visiting other countries. The website is unique in using facial recognition, but stands among many online tools people increasingly use to find lost pets. There are alarm systems, social media alerts, and apps that post rewards or call people in neighborhoods. Now, I want to dovetail that one, and I'll put this one up on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page as well. But I want to dovetail that into this subject, and I'm going to change gears and go into this direction. Here we are, we have a border crisis. Here we are, border and constitutional crisis. Right? So, we have the technology to understand and recognize faces from humans and now animals. We spend billions and billions of dollars on this type of technology, both publicly and privately. But they can't spend money and get the money together to build a freaking fence across 2,300 miles of border on the southern border. I think that's how long it is. I'm not sure. They don't have the technology or the willpower or the manpower to put all that together. George W. Bush, back in 2008, bailed out the banks at a tune of $867 billion, and he couldn't spend at least half of that to build a fence. It would be done by now if that was the case. But they said it's too expensive. It's like $2 million a mile or something like that. No, it's not. The border and constitutional crisis that we have in this country is getting to be very huge. I mentioned it in the beginning that illegal immigrant children are being shuffled off, bussed off, flown into Santa Clara County in California. They can spend your tax dollars doing that, but they can't spend building a wall. Okay, let me change gears again and go here and ask you a question. Would you build that wall? If you live in Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California, would you be down there with your construction company donating your time, not making any money whatsoever, not charging the federal government for anything? Would you be willing to build that wall? And if you are, then why aren't you? I'm going to say this. All illegal aliens that have come over illegally need to be medically screened and sent home. Oh, that's heartless. No, it's not. We have laws that we have to follow, and so do they. They cross the border illegally and not go through the checkpoints. We'll just shoot you. Now, let me clarify a few things about this border crisis. First of all, yeah, I said we'd shoot you. But I say that to make you think. Think about the ramifications of what would happen if you, standing on the border, shot an illegal alien coming over the border. Think about the political ramifications of what would happen. Just think about it. Franz Ferdinand, years and years ago, basically was assassinated. That started World War I. Do we need another war on our hands at the borders of our United States of America? So by saying we'll shoot you if you cross the border, that would cause so many problems. So many problems, economically, politically. That would just cause so many problems. So I would advise, not that anyone asked, but this is a good point to make, do not be violent. If you are one of those people that gather together and say, we must hit the border to protect it, be peaceful. If anything, have the Border Patrol number in your cell phone, detain these people at the border, and call the Border Patrol. And if the Border Patrol won't come, then call whatever county you are standing in, call the county sheriff. If they won't come, then you have to get a hold of the citizens' militia. And then politely and peacefully escort them back over the border. Now, remember, though, statistics have already come out and reports have already been made about the fact that there have been less and less immigrants coming through the border. Well, yeah, at least that's what I understand. But you have to remember that they're not counting those that are not going through the Border Patrol checkpoints. They're only counting those that go through the checkpoints. Okay? So those numbers show that there is a decrease. Okay? Now, the other thing that we have to understand about this border crisis is the fact that we can do all of this peacefully. Okay? We can do all of this peacefully. Okay? The question is, when does it not require peace? Now, I say that, and I said all that in the beginning there of that subject to direct your attention to this. There are many different people who are screaming and yelling and wanting to arm themselves and go down to the border and start shooting. I do not recommend that. As a matter of fact, if anybody tells you that they're going to arm themselves and go down to the border and start shooting, you better turn their ass in right now. We don't want another war at the border. We already know, and it's on record, that Mexico, due to their lack of common sense, really, has flown helicopters over the border, has had Mexican troops over the border shooting at our Border Patrol agents. Mexico has declared war on the United States of America. We know this. It is on record. And the question is, What do you want to do about it? There are many different people that, like I said, that want to go down there and arm themselves and start shooting back. Well, that's not recommended. At least I don't recommend it. What I recommend is what I said earlier. Go down there and protect the border, yeah. Take a cell phone, detain these people, call the Border Patrol. If they don't show up, call the county sheriff. If they don't show up, call the citizens militia, whoever they are in that area, and get somebody down there. Because if your sheriff, if that sheriff in that county is not constitutional and does not stand on the Constitution and is just allowing all of these illegals to come over the border, he's working for the drug cartels indirectly. Yes, I said it, and that's the way it's going to be until I am proven otherwise. And the highest organization standing on the Constitution that will do the job that the sheriff won't do is the citizens militia. Constitutionally backed, they have a right to exist, and therefore they become the highest law enforcement organization in that county. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. So any attorneys, constitutional attorneys want to contact me, let me know. freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. I just think that there's so many things happening that we have to pay attention to that sometimes we miss things, and that's we can't see everything all at once, and we can't be in all places at once. So we have to understand that there are other people like me and like Pete Santilli and other folks, who are on the border, who are there, who see what's going on, who are going to relay to the rest of us what's happening. And like I said yesterday on a podcast, I'm more ready, willing, and able to lead a group of people or to be a part of a group of people, maybe leading them down to the southern border of Nevada and keeping them out of here. Now, if anyone is with me on that, let's go. You got a truck, you got some people together, let's head it on out. And I'll tell you why. It's not because I'm against those people. They're human beings. What I'm against is that they haven't been medically screened. They haven't had a background check. And they're here illegally. We want to make sure that they're well taken care of. Not given free stuff and not, just running roughshod all over the county. You know what I mean? No. I don't know, folks. I'm going to take another break. Just the last break of the show, and I will be back. freeamericaradio@usa.com is the email address. freeamericaradio.us is the main website, and for this show in particular, it's thewaynespearceshow.weebly.com. And again, the email address is freeamericaradio@usa.com. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce from the Free America Radio Network. Prepare yourself for the unexpected. Have an emergency food supply available when you need it. You never know when the next power outage or natural disaster will happen. Are you prepared when it does? Go to Free America Radio Network website and click on the Store tab and get your emergency food supply now. Go to freeamericaradio.us. A natural disaster could happen at any time. Be prepared. Go to freeamericaradio.us and click on the Store tab to get your emergency food supply today. That's freeamericaradio.us and click on the Store tab and prepare in case something happens.
Sharing the truth one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network.
Hey, welcome back, folks. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce right over the 6th of August, 2014 for the last segment of the show. Hey, so let's move on to other things, shall we? Go back to drudgereport.com and go to this article from WND, World Net Daily. Obama's half-brother calls him aloof, distant. Set to release bio disputing president's version of family history. Isn't that wonderful? New York, yet another Obama relative is about to service in the United States to cause the president grief over the credibility of key aspects of the autobiography that helped propel him to the White House, Dreams of My Father, a story of race and inheritance. Mark Obama Desangjo, Barack Obama's Kenyan half-brother, plans to release September 16th his own autobiography, An Obama's Journey, My Odyssey of Self-Discovery Across Three Cultures, published by Global Peugeot Press. WND reported in December that Desangjo initially planned to self-publish the book. In an advance copy of 374-page memoir obtained by WND, he describes his relationship with his half-brother as distant and strained. In an appendix, he disputes as inaccurate and a fabrication much of what Obama presented as his African roots in Dreams of My Father, which was used to introduce his complex family story to the nation. His mother was Ruth Baker, a Jewish Bostonian. This is Django. Mother was Ruth Baker, a Jewish Bostonian that Barack Obama Sr. met and married while pursuing graduate studies at Harvard. Barack Obama is the son of a Kenyan and his second wife, Stanley Ann Dunham, a white student he met while studying at the University of Hawaii. Baker was a 1958 graduate of Simmons College in Boston with a degree in business. Commonly known as Ruth Nidesand, I guess, Nidesand, is most Obama biological accounts. She followed Barack Obama Sr. back to Africa and married him in Kenya in a civil ceremony December 24, 1964. After Baker divorced Obama Sr., she and her two sons by Barack Obama Sr. took on a surname of their stepfather. The new book enters the controversy over Dreams, which WND columnist Jack Cashill has argued not only contains fictional accounts, but was written largely by former Weather Underground domestic terrorist and Marxist activist Bill Ayers. Desangjo currently lives in Sichuan, China, where he gives piano lessons to orphans. He plans to be in the U.S. for 2 weeks in mid-September. He will launch An Obama's Journey with a book signing September 13th at Barnes & Noble store in Manhattan's Upper West Side neighborhood. You can read the rest of that on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page. Dreams of My Father. Well, how about Joel Gilbert's Dreams of My Real Father? How's that? Go look that one up. It is said that Barack Obama, President Obama, is a Manchurian candidate. This is on record to be absolutely true. You can go look through all the information that is currently out there that is credible to prove that. Now, the other thing that really has, well, let's just put this out here. The other thing that has got me kind of, I don't know, It's controlled rage, folks. It's got me so pissed that I don't know how to be pissed enough. That we have people who lie to get, to get their name in the paper, to get their name on the news, to get their 15 minutes of fame. And we have the people, and we have some people who are just eating it up. My point? It's real simple. You're going to be lied to and have been lied to mostly all of your life about everything you ever thought you knew. The best thing to do is for you to forget all that, toss it out, throw it away, it's garbage, and go find your new information for yourself. And not just look at things that you find that are interesting. No. Look at things that are controversial. Look at things that other people talk about and say, well, that doesn't exist and this is not true. Go look at the negative as well as the positive. I think you would be mildly surprised as to what you thought you knew. And this whole situation that is happening at the border is real simple. Here's the breakdown. Washington, D.C., through military-industrial complex, guards and operates and helps others operate the opium fields in Afghanistan. Before we went in there, production and shipments were down to about 5, 6, 7, 8% across the globe, or specifically into America. After we went in and tore them a new one and started setting things up, the flow of drugs into the United States from Afghanistan has increased upwards to, in some reports say, 90%. A couple of years ago, Geraldo Rivera talked to a general that admitted that they're watching and guarding the opium fields. The poppy fields, I should say. The other part of that breakdown is this. Those drugs, those raw materials come to the United States or to Mexico. The military-industrial complex gets the weapons to the drug cartels to protect their investment, and therefore they manufacture the drugs and send the drugs into here along with groups of people. They're not only into drugs, they're into human smuggling, they're into slavery, they're into, you name it, they're into it. Any way to make a buck. And I got to tell you, that's not all of it. I only broke down 2 parts of it. That's not all of it. There's more behind the scenes. There's more that we just don't know. And we're not going to be told. So, again, if you want to know the truth, your eyes have to gaze upon whatever it is you're looking at and admit to yourself what that thing is. And how you do that is you get rid of all your preconceived ideas and everything that you were taught, that you thought you knew was true and factual, and accept everything that you can with your own eyes. Read as much as you can, get as much out of it as you can, but only believe that which you have researched, as the late William Cooper has said. I even go one step further than that and say what is true for you as you observe it. Okay? So all in all, when we look at this whole situation, we have to understand that there is more to it than what we're being told. It is probably 10 times, 100 times worse than we can ever imagine. My question to you is, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to remedy the situation at the border? Well, if there's so many coming over... I really think that people who say that, well, there's nothing that can be done about it. I believe those people are nothing but cowards, and they don't have the balls to stand up to anything. If I'm wrong, please let me know. I look at things, I just don't look at the glass half empty or half full. I look at the glass and say, hey, there's something in it. I don't look at this situation at the border as being let me rephrase that. I not only look at the crisis at the border as being a problem, but I look at also the humanity that is being abused within that crisis. So we have to take a look at that too. There's a lot of things that we have to examine. A lot of things. Okay? Now, I don't know what else to tell you except that we really have to be diligent and look at what is there. We really need to look at what is there. Now, here's the other thing. Robert Rampton over in Washington at Reuters on Yahoo News says this: U.S. Vice President Joe Biden made an impassioned plea to the U.S. law firms on Wednesday to free up attorneys to help deal with the surge of Central American children who have entered the country illegally, to provide them more pro bono representation. At the end of the meeting, about 60 people, some from white-collar law firms, others from nonprofit organizations who work with immigrants, Biden urged lawyers to step up and help deal with a backlog of court cases for tens of thousands of children from Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala. Biden makes plea to the U.S. lawyers for pro bono help on migrant crisis. Roberta Rampton wrote that for Reuters. It's on Yahoo News, news.yahoo.com. But let me put that article up on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page. That works. When you have more people coming to this country, you and I are going to have less resources. When you have more socialism, you're going to have less freedom. When you have more people wanting things for free or barely for nothing, you're going to have let's just say, it's not going to be good for the rest of us. I've not yet seen, as a matter of fact, let me tell you this, I dislike, I'll use the word, I hate socialism, Marxism, fascism, and communism. I hate them all. Because it doesn't give you the opportunity to grow as an individual as far as working, as far as trying to develop a business, and when you look at communism across the board, it's not you working for yourself in your own home. No, it's you working for the state. They're giving you a home, and you're living. And basically, that's what's happening here. So as we go ahead and look around us, I really want to ask that you do yourself a favor and really pay attention to what's going on. Okay? Just pay attention. Just watch what's going on. And then ask yourself, what can I do about this? And remember, those people crossing the border are humans. They're not dogs, they're not animals, they're humans. If they're sick, give them some water. Give them some help. Give them whatever you can do. But they're not supposed to stay here. Don't take them in like a stray animal, but they're not supposed to stay here. They broke the law. But if they're sick, take care of them and then, help them back home. And if they don't want to go home, then call the immigration department, call Border Patrol, call whatever. Yeah, but we have to stop the flow of all these people. Anyway, it's a hard decision to make, I know. Do we go to the border? Do we, and again, you're going to have people out there that are going to want to, arm up and go and do and whatever. There's so many different scenarios that I can tell you about, that I can talk to you about. But I think one stands above it all, that people are human. These are human beings that we're dealing with. But again, they're breaking the law. So you got to deal with that too as well. So anyway. Hey, I got a few minutes left. I'm going to get out of here. I'll go a little bit early. I'm going to get out of here. So, anyway, come join me on the Views Express Live, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Free America Radio Network. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, even if you disagree with me, please email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com. That is freeamericaradio@usa.com. You can go to the Free America Radio Network website at freeamericaradio.us. Or for this particular show, you can go to thewaynesPierceShow.weebly.com. Check it out there. If you have any questions about sponsoring the show or donating to the network or to this show particularly, please ask. More than happy to tell you what you need to know. So, anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go away now and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. And I'll talk to you on the Views Express Live, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Free America Radio Network at freeamericaradio.us.